Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel. Friday, November the 21st, 4:35 a.m. I hope you're having a great start to your Friday morning. One day away from the weekend. I'm excited. I've got the big blue mug of coffee. I hope you've got a big mug. Does not have to be blue. I hope you got a big mug of something and you're enjoying it this morning as well. We are winning. I'm excited. We are winning. We're fighting back and we're finally winning. It's a long time coming. And I'm talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. You've heard DEI for years now. I call it division, exclusion, and indoctrination because that's what it is. But we're finally fighting back and it's good news. And the government of Alberta is fighting back in a big way. I'm going to show you a clip of Danielle Smith from yesterday in just a moment. But this article in the National Post this morning, Alberta protects professionals from witch hunts and forced diversity training. So today I'm going to tell you a personal story. I think you're going to like it. And this article and this video I'm going to show you reminded me of something I did on August the 9th, 2020. You're going to say, John, how could you remember such a thing? Well, it was on August 9th, 2020. I sent myself an email from the company I used to work for. Chances are you have already used their product today, or a large percentage of you have already used their product today. I'm not going to tell you the name of the company. But on August the 9th, 2020, I was at work and I got an email from the company I worked for and I was offended, extremely offended. And I'm not easily offended. I got the feeling from this email that my company was suggesting I was a bigot, or even worse, I was some type of racist, and I didn't even know it. And it made me sick to my stomach. So what I did was I screen captured it and I sent it to myself on August 9th, 2020, more than 5 years ago. And I thought about it this morning and I went in and checked and there it was. I'm going to show you the goods in just a moment. So let's go to Danielle Smith. This is her yesterday. It goes beyond what she says here. I'm going to expand on this in just a moment. Let's hear what the Premier had to say.
Today we are introducing Bill 13, the Regulated Professions Neutrality Act. This is common sense legislation that would recognize that everyone should have the right to express their personal views freely. No professional should fear losing their license, their reputation, or their livelihood because of a personal opinion, a social media post, an interview, or open dialogue outside of working hours. These changes come after one of the most notable cases of professional regulators punishing an individual for comments made outside of a professional setting, and that is Dr. Jordan Peterson. Dr. Peterson was sanctioned and ordered to undertake a so-called re-education program in order to maintain his credentials for statements he had made outside of a clinical psychology setting. Similar notable cases have involved nurses, doctors, and teachers that have been punished, sanctioned, or have had their licenses threatened for comments that they have made on social media, at protests, or even at meetings of local city councils. We looked at these cases and asked an important question. Are regulators still focused on public safety and professional competence, or are some of them overstepping to enforce ideological conformity and to silence public discourse? The bill aims to protect expressive off-duty conduct. It draws a clear distinction that regulators are responsible for competence and ethics, not policing beliefs or personal expression that has no bearing on a person's ability to do their professional practice. No one cherishes their freedoms like Albertans do. This is a sentiment that we hear often and something that our government takes seriously. Our aim is to uphold professionals' rights and freedoms while continuing to protect the public interest so that both public confidence and professional integrity are maintained. We want to ensure that professional regulatory bodies keep their focus on areas within their scope, on members' actions that affect their professional competence and ethics, because everyone has the right to express themselves and to share their views and to have their voice heard in our society.
Well done to Premier Danielle Smith and her government for doing this. I think every province should be doing the same thing. She's been knocking it out of the park lately. She did it with the transgender thing the other day. I did a video on that as well. I'll put a card at the end so you can watch it. But there's more to this that you didn't see in that clip. Let me show it to you here in this National Post article. Link in the description so you can read the whole thing. She referenced a nurse in that little clip. That would be Amy Ham, who lost her job for speaking out against the transgender thing. There's actually a reference to a lawyer in this as well, denounced by his law society for questioning the narrative on Indigenous as well. So this won't be able to pass anymore in Alberta. Let's go to this paragraph right here. So, on training, the Alberta government is proposing to focus all professional bodies to ensure that their members can do their jobs correctly. No longer would these entities be able to mandate training on cultural competency, unconscious bias, more on that in just a moment, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, let me take you back 5+ years ago, an email I sent to myself on August 9th, 2020. This is a screen capture of an email I got from a company that I used to work for, and it offended me. And this has all the buzzwords in it as well that you've heard over the years, and this is starting to go away, and this is good news. John, please complete your unconscious bias training today. As we build an inclusive culture where we can all bring our whole selves to work each and every day, whatever the hell that means. An important step in our journey is understanding our unconscious biases and overcoming them during our everyday interactions. Making the unconscious conscious is a 15-minute web-based learning on unconscious bias and is now mandatory, my least favorite word in the English language, for all employees to complete. During the training, you will explore real-life scenarios, learn what unconscious bias is, how they manifest, and how to overcome them. Please make it a priority to complete this training as soon as possible. While you have until October 31st to complete the training, it's important we begin eliminating our unconscious biases as soon as possible so we can all become allies. After completing training, you're encouraged to complete the self-reflection activity and engage in a team conversation by leveraging the unconscious bias conversation guide. So what I was thinking when this came through was, one, they're thinking I'm some kind of a bigot or a racist and I don't know it. Also, bringing this stuff to the forefront that doesn't even exist other than in our unconscious, as far as I'm concerned, is just making things even worse. This is how you divide society. This is not how you bring people together. They talk about team conversation. What's interesting about this is, around the same time, there was a list on the wall of all these team conversations, and they broke them down into different identity groups, and there were 12 of them. I wish I still had the paper. It's been more than 5 years, and I've lost it. There were 12 separate identity groups for team conversations. So they divided everybody up into their little group, whether they were Black or Caribbean or Muslim or gay or trans. I couldn't even think of 12 identity groups. They had them, and they're all set up these little grievance groups so they could all talk about the unconscious biases, racism, and bigotry at the company they worked at that really didn't exist. So this is good news from the government of Alberta. I'm so pleased that this kind of thing is happening. You know, it was interesting, around the same time that I got that email, they started changing their training at the company as well. It used to just be about business practices, good business practices, and you had to do this online training every year. Around the same time, you started to get in training on unconscious bias like this, but the other one was pronouns. There was a whole thing on pronouns at work and how to use them properly and how you offended people if you didn't use their pronouns and how every meeting you went to, everybody had to announce their pronouns. I'm not kidding. It was ridiculous, this kind of stuff. And let me just say this, just to end this, I haven't discussed this with anybody other than people that are close to me and my family. I ended up leaving that company because I was the victim of racism at work. And I quit my job over it. I went to the HR department of that company and I complained about it. And they told me I had to work with the person who said this to me. I was concerned that this person was going to turn it around on me and I was going to be labeled by work and lose my job over it. So I reported it to HR and I actually filed a case with the Canadian Human Rights Commission, and that was more than 4 years ago, and I haven't heard a damn thing back about it. I know these things can take time, but when I put it in, I thought, they're not going to bother with me. Why? Because I'm white, and the person that did this to me was a person of color. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, good news. Good news. We're fighting back. Thank you, Danielle Smith, for doing this. I appreciate what you're doing, Madam Premier. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. I'll see you in the next one.